I'm just now figuring that out. And again, CapEx, it's kind of up to you if you want to include it. You're not going to see it really in any turnkey providers, pro formas, or estimates. Maybe some include it. You know, if you up maintenance, maintenance, vacancy, and CapEx all to 10% a piece, you're probably not going to see any cash flow. And that's not to say that you should finagle your numbers just to make sure you see cash flow, but, you know, just consider it. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. Steve, do you personally manage any of your properties? I do, but none of my turnkeys. So my kind of the bookends of my real estate investing career, my very first rental property technically was not intentional. It was the house that I lived in Atlanta before I took a job transfer to California. And my job transfer to California was in the end of 2009, which we all know I wasn't going to be selling a house anytime soon. So I decided to make it a rental property. And that property, I think I started with a property manager briefly, or I hired one to put a tenant in it. Somehow I got a tenant in it. I don't remember, and it was a property manager who found it. But at some point, the property manager didn't work out, or something wasn't. There was a span where there was no property manager. But at that time, the tenant was phenomenal. I mean, she was so amazing and trustworthy. To this day, I wish I could kind of give her a shout out, like, oh, thank you. I had no idea what was coming with bad tenants. She mailed me a check in California all the time. I had a friend in Atlanta, so if she had any repair stuff or issues, he would just pop over for me and fix it. He replaced a washer on the dryer, like the little like round washer, for like 47 cents. It was great. So he was fine to help me out. I'd pop him $100 here and there just to kind of keep an eye out. But she was such a good tenant. I was able to just not have a property manager on that property, and technically I managed it myself. Immediately as she was starting to leave, I knew that was not going to be a sustainable thing because I'm 2,200 miles away. So then that property since then has had property managers ever since. So all of my turnkeys have property managers. I was like, is this true? None of them have the original property manager that came with the property. Back when I was buying turnkeys, the property managers were even way less reliable than they are now. There's some now that are a lot more reliable, so I feel like property management turnover is not as common. But yeah, all my turnkeys have it. The only one that I manage myself, as some of you have heard me talk about this before, a year ago, me and some partners went in on a duplex here in Venice, local to me, and I am the landlord. And I will tell you, so this property is negative cash flow. I'm landlording. Oh, and I bought it at the peak of the market. So it's literally the epitome of everything I have preached against for years, saying don't buy in any of those circumstances. And I bought one that hits all of them. And I had reasons for doing that that I won't really get into, but unless you want to know. But so I'm the landlord on that property, and I will tell you, it has reaffirmed everything I have ever said about why I have no interest in managing my properties. And this is a really high-end property. It's an expensive, each unit is well, I say very expensive. It's kind of average for LA, but it's expensive. They're high-end units. So it attracts pretty high-end people, which is nice. So I'm not slumlording. I'm not doing anything crazy. But, you know, it's a fairly non-drama property, except for I inherited a tenant in one of the units. And I think I've said this before too. I thought she was going to be the death of me. She was just a horrid human being. So that really, it was exhausting, and I hated every minute of it, but it really taught me a lot of good stuff in life about putting my foot down, how to create my own boundaries, how to not let people affect me. So I learned a ton of stuff. So I'm very grateful for all those things that this witch taught me. So that was super stressful, but otherwise it's not been a generally stressful property. But I don't like, first of all, I'm not handy. So I feel like this would be a big difference. If you're handy, I could see being a landlord being a totally different, better experience, but I'm just not. So basically anything that goes wrong, I have to hire a handyman. And I'll tell you, I don't know how many of you have dealt with handymen lately. I just want to walk face first into a wall. But then if I did that, they would have to come in and fix the wall. And getting the handyman to communicate on any decent level is just insane. And then as soon as I find the ones who communicate, they overcharge and they don't do great work. And so it's not undoable, but I just don't really get entertainment out of having to plan my day around going to meet handymen or any kind of contractor for that matter. Like right now we have a vacant unit, so I'm showing the property. I have to schedule my whole day around that. These sound like total first world problems. But just the coordinating on it, and then even the paperwork is pretty easy with the lease and stuff, but showing it, I'm meeting a million different people. Half of them are crazy. It's not my thing. So you didn't really ask my opinion on personally managing my properties, but I thought I'd offer it anyways. It's been a really good experience, and I'm going to keep doing it because the property's only a mile from me, and it is higher end people. When they're in and set and everything's fine, it's really easy. I'd really try and place people in there that I enjoy. I was gonna go somewhere else with that, but I never know who's watching this. So I was gonna reference some experiences I've had with people, but with my luck, they would join our group and then hear me talk about them. So I'm not. But yeah, so I manage the one property, and it's not my thing. I'm just doing it because of the circumstances of this one, but otherwise, no.